I linked up Brian to Joy Okumu, who's the head of retail at Textbook Center, a company that has been in existence for the last 65 years. Prior to Textbook Center, Joy worked in the telecommunication space with Telcom Kenya for over 10 years, holding different positions as head of retail, branch manager, and retail sales head.
Thank you so much for having us.
Karibu.
I'm Brian from Kibanga Books.
Yes.
And this is Textbook Center. And we'd love to know more about you and know how you've been operating. You've been here for a while, like 3 or more generations.
Yes.
We'd love to know about your history and how you started and what sparked you to getting into books.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you very much. Textbook Center has been in operation for the last 65 years. We started out with a small bookstore at 1 Kijabe Street, where we still have that store to date.
Wow.
Then branched out to Sarit, Sarit Center, where we had a small bookstore, I think around 3,000 square foot, dealing mostly in academic books and general books. We moved from there and moved on to more branches, and we currently have 9 branches, with a 10th one coming in the next 6 weeks or less. So Textbook Center founders had a passion for books and a passion for education, and you could see that in how they've supported the community, they have developed the brand, and they built the business what it is right now. So we started out mostly with educational books, and moved on to general books. And as the world has evolved, we've also found ourselves within the technology space.
Okay.
So apart from just having books, we also have technology, we have technology products and services that we offer within our stores.
What inspires most of the books that you do have? I see you have a very large collection from African African authors, international authors. It's a very huge collection.
With the number of years of experience we have at our belt, we are able to look at what is available internationally, what the demand is locally, and satisfy the customer's demand. So with the experience we've been through the business for 50 years, we have all this knowledge we've gathered from our partners, be it the publishers, the market, the consumer. So we try to match what the consumer is looking for and what is available in the market. So that advises our large portfolio of books.
And another question: you have a very large collection. How do you interact with authors directly, or do you use agents or publishers?
We use a mix of everything. Okay. So when it comes to the business of selling books, you can't just pick one line or one avenue and you go with only one avenue. You need to speak to the consumer, speak to the authors, speak to the publishers, and get a good, perfect mix of what should be packaged to the consumer. Yeah. And
I noticed a product on your website of the e-books. And how did you realize that Kenyans now need e-books?
Well, I think it's driven, one, of course, by consumer, and also two, change in trends. So you have customers who there was a revolution of Kindle a few years ago.
Sure.
And we had consumers who are interested in mobility solutions and who are also avid readers. So what a good mix than to have an e-book available for customers who would want that. So there's also the evolution of the market and where the market is going technology-wise. So you have to double a bit in that.
Okay.
You can't
How was the
ignore it.
reception? How was the reception of you introducing this? This is a very new business line. And how has been the reception from most of your consumers?
So TBC, we try to ensure that everybody gets what they're looking for, especially within the space we play at. However, penetration into the Kenyan market for ebooks has been slightly slow, mainly because an avid reader likes to smell the book.
That's true.
So you'd find that, yes, we have that option available for that person who would want to buy on the move, but then you'd find about 90% of our consumers prefer a physical book.
You mostly supply to schools.
Yes.
Schools have been closed for like 1 year now.
customer what they want. So you can walk into the store, peruse the book, and go back after 2 or 3 days, purchase online.
Okay.
Alternatively, you can go online, have a look at the book, and come in and say, let me smell it, let me look at it. Either way,
Okay.
the options are available for the consumers.
Okay. Since you told us you've been here for, TBC has been here for 6 years, right? There is so many generational changes that have occurred. Like technology has changed. You can't compare 1980s or 1990s to 2020. It's or to 2021. It's very different.
It is, but there's certain authors, there's certain books, certain genre of books that remain classics throughout the years. I think if you read any comics, you must have read Asterix. We keep that. They're still being published. It's still as exciting now as it was back then. If you read Enid Blyton like I did, it was very exciting for me then. Enid Blyton now has titles specific for my age group at this point. So you find there's still that attachment. And if you've grown in the culture of reading books, it doesn't change throughout the years. Your taste might differ slightly, but you'd find the books available for whatever age group you're in.
Okay. Thank you so much, Joy, for having Kibanga Books here.
Karibu.
We're so glad that you invited us.
Karibu
And
TBC.
we'd love to work with you and interact with you more so that we can learn from your insights of how to grow and also to scale up in this competitive business of books.
Karibu. At TBC, we try to ensure that education and culture is enhanced. So working with you would be a pleasure to grow the readership and to grow the consumer base in Kenya.
Okay.
Karibu.
Thank you.
Watch the show. Hope you've learned a thing or two from the conversation with myself and Brian, and also Brian and Joy on this particular industry that I myself am in love with, because through books I've learned so much. And before we come to an end, I'd like just to recommend a couple of books that I picked out from the shelf that I have read before, and I think I'll recommend to any person who wants to get into the world of entrepreneurship and leadership. So one of the best books, it's by Robin Sharma, The Leader Who Has No Title. It's all about leadership, and it's through a very interesting fable that he shares, and I think I learned a lot from this particular book. My all-time favorite, a book that I myself consume so many times, it is The Blue Ocean Strategy. It's a book about how exactly as a business you can ensure that you go into the blue ocean, whereby you're very unique and you're offering a very unique proposition as compared to being in the red ocean, where it's a world full of competition. And finally, The Lean Startup. It just shows you how exactly to structure and model your business so that you can scale up from just being a startup. Well, I can recommend so many books, but that's all the time we have. And if you're an entrepreneur out there and would like to be a part of the show, you can always reach us on our social media handles, which are running below the screen, at Ian Dennis Network, at KTN_Home_. My name is Ian Dennis, and this has been The Business Coach, where we help entrepreneurs better their businesses.